Alright, welcome to another video. Today I've got this wheelchair that I got from the Goodwill for $9.99. It's in pretty decent shape. It is missing a couple pieces like the foot pegs here, but my plan is to turn this into a recumbent. I did some measurements and I created these plates. So this is just 3/16 mild steel that I bent and put a little bracket behind. And what I'm trying to do with this is accomplish the center point steering. So all I did is I took this piece of the wheelchair here, off the wheel. I'm going to pull this off and show it to you. These things are pretty awesome. They come apart really easily. So this is the center of the axle and the plate that goes with it that bolts directly to the frame of the wheelchair. What I did is I basically traced it and put it on this plate. And then this piece had a little spindle on the top that this spins with. Took it off. Also 2 bolts, very simple to take off. And actually that's the wrong one. It was this, it's this side. So put it right here, drilled and tapped this plate to be able to hold all these pieces, and you end up with your center point steering. So the way that I figured this out is with a triangle calculator. So from the center of the wheel to the center of the axle is 90 degrees. We know that already. The radius of the wheel is based off the diameter, so this is a 24-inch wheel, so that's 12-inch on one leg. And then the distance where this plate is being mounted from the center of the wheel is the other distance. Now, a normal triangle calculator will tell you all the other angles and leg lengths of the triangle. All I needed to know was what angle I needed, and it turned out to be 10 degrees. So at 10 degrees with this, actually I think it was like that, with this connected to the wheel, you get your center point steering, if you can kind of see that. So you can kind of see, hopefully, that the center of this piece, mounted at 10 degrees, points directly towards the center of this wheel. So that's the plan. So that's my 10 degrees. Basically, I stuck this piece of plate steel in the vise and took a protractor and bent it until I put a wrench on it and pulled it down and hit it with a hammer and everything else until I got my 10 degrees with a protractor. I did score a line so that I could match this. So I made 2 of them. I did go ahead and draw out a little 10-degree kind of gusset piece here and cut it out and laid it on the back side for reinforcement. So my plan now that I've got these 2 plates made is to set these apart at 30 inches or so. And since they are nice and square, I have, it's plate steel, I can get these really square this way easily and this way easily because it's basically a box. And then once I've done that, I can go ahead and put my bridge across here at the top that will mount to the top of these spindles. So that it's basically a piece of threaded, like a threaded core, and I will put that in. It'll probably, it'll be kind of like this, and make sure that the bottom piece is all nice and square. And then my plan is to tip these back 15 degrees when I weld it to my body, or the centerpiece, or I guess what you might call the backbone of the recumbent. And the reason I'm doing 15 degrees back, if you take 90 degrees, which is what this would be straight up, subtract 15 degrees, you got 75 degrees, which will be the head tube angle on the spindles. So I think that's a real simple, easy way to set this stuff up, is just making sure that everything's square whenever you're making it, and then getting your angles using triangle calculators and things like that. If you have CAD, that's awesome. That's definitely the way to go. I think there's, really easy ways to do this. Just got to think it through, I guess. So for the rest of this video, I'm going to go ahead and just show you the wheelchair and me taking it apart. that's kind of where I'm at for now. I've got to come back through and so now I'm going to kind of set up and do a little bit of sketching and try to come up with a good design for this now that I see what I'm working with. I'll post another video as I make progress. I'll just kind of keep sharing as I go. So if you're into what I'm building here, please like, subscribe, give me a thumbs up. I greatly appreciate it. Hang around, see what I come up with. Thank you for watching.